What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. And welcome to another episode of Versus. And this is probably the most expensive episode of Versus I've ever done, where we're going to be comparing the Custom Knife Factory Evo 2.0 to the 3.0. Quite a big difference between these two. I mean, overall, the lines and everything on them are pretty much the same. One's just bigger than the other in every way. I don't have the weight for this one, so we're going to have to wait. Actually, we're going to go ahead and just weigh both of them. But I'm going to give you the overall length and the blade length on each one. Overall length on the 2.0 is 8.03 inches. On the 3.0, it is 8.43 inches. Blade length on the 2.0 is 3.6 inches, and on the 3.0 it is 3.74 inches. Blade thickness on the 2.0 is 180 thousandths, and on the 3.0 it's 200 thousandths. Very thick blade. I do want to go ahead and weigh them. They're both, everything else about them is pretty much the same. Same blade steel, same handles, same pivot collars. Although the pivot is different on the 3.0, I just noticed that. On the 2.0, you can adjust from both sides. In the 3.0, it's a captive pivot. So, all right, on the 2.0, it's captive pivot. On the 3.0, it is not. All right, we'll start with the 2.0. Weight on the 2.0, 5.2 ounces, and on the 3.0, oh, hold on, zero those out. Do that again. On the 2.0. 5.4 ounces, 5.3, 5.4, and on the 3.0, 7, I'd say, 6.5. Yeah, it's a heavy knife. Both are pretty heavy, but these are expensive knives. But you know, these would make very good hard use knives. They have very thick blade stock, very good ergonomics also on both of these. For a medium-sized hand, which I have, I definitely prefer the 2.0. It feels much better in my hand, and yeah, I like this much better for my hand size. You bigger guys out there may prefer the 3.0. In my previous video I made about one of these knives, I think it was this one, I don't remember. I called this a stop pin back here. It's actually not a stop pin. It's just the standoff. The stop pins are the thumb studs, which aren't really thumb studs. You can use them for thumb studs, but they are not comfortable because they are not intended to be used as thumb studs. It's meant for a hold deployment, which works amazingly well for the reverse flick or the thumb flick. The 2.0 also has a vertical hand satin. The 3.0 has a horizontal hand satin. The 3.0 is more of a fingerprint magnet. I do want to point that out. This one does not fingerprint up nearly as much as this one does. You barely touch this one, you get fingerprints all over it every time you touch it. So. This one actually will be available in the next knife sale. The 3.0 will be. Julio had the, I don't know the story behind it, but he had both of them and decided he preferred the 2.0 also over 3.0 and isn't going to keep both of them. The 2.0 also had the upgraded Zircotai pocket clip, which was an upgrade. And I think the upgrade for these, the pocket clip's like $160. These knives run $730 each, not counting this pocket clip. That would be the additional $160, I believe, for the pocket clip. That's a lot of money. And you got to pre-order these. And the way it works with Custom Knife Factory is you put $150 down, you pre-order it, and then when your knife is completed, you pay the additional $580 or more, depending on what options you choose. The blade steel in both these is M390. They're both titanium frame locks. Very similar knives. One thing that is noticeably different between the two is the jimping. Jimping on the 2.0, I find it uncomfortable actually. It's pretty sharp. Now if you had gloves on, it would be fine, but with bare thumb, pretty sharp jimping there. To where with the 2.0 or the 3.0, I keep getting them mixed up, it's not nearly as sharp, much more comfortable on that jimping. It still works well for jimping, but it's not as sharp as the 2.0 was. I don't know if that's something that, you know, they addressed because people told them it was too sharp, so they decided to chamfer it down a little bit. But, you know, I definitely prefer the jimping on this one over the 2.0. Both have a hollow grind. I'm not sure. I still don't know what this finish is called on here. It's like a, I don't know. It's not a bark finish, but it has texture to it. You see the lines in it. It's on the pocket clip on this one also. The action is equally as good on both of these knives. This one, the 3.0 drops a little harder, but it's because of all the additional weight. It's 20 thousandths thicker blade plus a longer blade. I mean, this thing is a thumb snatcher. If you don't get your thumb out of the way with this one, you're going to get a hole through your thumbnail from that edge right there. So you got to be conscious when you go to close this thing of where your thumb is when it gets past that detent ramp, because it is coming. It's coming in hot, and you don't want to be in the way when it gets there. Luckily, I have not got myself yet, but I always keep the knife to the side at an angle. I don't have it straight vertical when I close it, just so I can get to that point where I know it's free, and then I just stand it up. This one does the same thing, just not quite as fast, you know. It's not as heavy. The pivot feels a little freer on the 3.0 than the 2.0, honestly. And that may have to do something to do with the different pivots. I've not disassembled either of these, and I'm not going to be. Something else I just noticed is different. See the standoff in there? You can see through this one. There's a hole, goes right through the center of it. Kind of mounts in there that way. It doesn't screw in. There's no screws for it. It's just compressed in there when you tighten the other screws down. This one's in there too, but it doesn't have the hole going through it. I wonder why they changed that. I wonder why they put the hole in here to begin with, actually. It's a better question. I don't think it serves any purpose. Yeah. Back spacers. Same back spacers. I believe they're titanium. Just geared back spacers. Obviously, this one's a little bit bigger on the 3.0 than the 2.0. Got a swedge down to 3.0 also, which I think looks really good. I think it would have looked really good on this one too. We got a slight swedge there on the 2.0, but not nearly as much as you can see there. I definitely prefer the look of the swedge on the 3.0 over the 2.0. Ergos are fantastic on both of these knives, man. They just fit your hand like a glove, and you feel really locked in. You know, you feel like you got full control over this blade. Yeah, excellent ergonomics. Excellent ergonomics. They definitely put ergonomics over form with these knives. Although I think they look fantastic also. I love the blade shapes on them. Deep hollow grinds on these. I mean, these are deep hollow grinds. Extremely deep hollow grinds. And just ridiculously good action. Snappy detents. Very snappy. Both of them. Actually, I think the 3.0 has a slightly snappy, ever so slightly snappier detent. But they're both fantastic. They're both on cage ceramic ball bearings, and there's a washer in there. So there's a washer on the scale, and then in between the blade and the washer on the scale is where your bearings go. Seen that construction on many knives in the past. Very similar as a lot of other knives out there. Yeah, just 200 thousandths blade stock, man. Beast of a knife. Absolute beast. And this would be a great EDC knife if... Well, about got myself. Great EDC knife if you like heavier knives and you need something to hard use. You could chop a tree down with this thing. A small tree, I don't think you'd do any damage to this knife. You can get scratches and stuff, but if you're a baller like that and you EDC a $730 knife, I don't think this one will disappoint you because it's fantastic. It really is. I need to look at some of their other designs. Does CKF design other knives other than the Evos? On their website, I looked around. I didn't see much to show me other knives they have for sale. So, yeah. Apparently they ship out of the United States. They ship to dealers, but my understanding, these are made in Russia. The name of the website is From Russia with Love. I'll link both of these down below. You can't buy them. They're all sold out right now. You can find them on the secondary, but generally you're going to pay a premium to get one of them. So, and just so you know, just a little hint, here, this will not be marked above retail. So I will never sell a knife above retail, even if it is a knife that's hard to get and no longer being made. So yeah, if you're interested in the 3.0, keep an eye out for the next knife sale. As always, channel members will get first access to all the knives in the knife sale. And yeah, great knives. If you like bigger knives, these would be great for EDC and self-defense, honestly. Great shape for just an all-around good blade shape and fantastic ergos. So you could cut with this knife all day in your hand. I don't think you're going to it's going to ever be uncomfortable for you. The lock bar access is fantastic. They've even chamfered and jimped it a little bit, but it's just buttery smooth on both of them. They definitely, yeah, at this price range, they better be doing quality control. But yeah, they definitely do amazing work. These are the first knives I've ever had from Custom Knife Factory. So, and I am truly impressed. Truly impressed. So much so, I would love to get one of these. Maybe one day down the road. It's not in my price range. This one's not for sale anyway, but I would love to get one of these in the future because I love this knife. Almost more than I love another knife Julio sent. It's close. I'm having a hard time picking which one I like better between these two, you know, and that's saying something because I really like this knife too. But man, this thing is so good. And I just love that Zircotai clip too. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. All right, guys, comment below. Do any of you own an Evo? Which model? I still haven't seen the Evo 1.0. From my understanding, it's the same size of the 3.0, or it's the exact same dimensions of one of these two. I don't remember which one it was, but comment below. Do you have one? What do you think of it? Do you use it, or is it just a safe queen? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this knife if you have one. I definitely am looking to add one to my collection one day in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all on the next one.